Hi, my name is Liam Hicks, a realtor at Remax Brantford. I also work in the GTA and surrounding areas in Southern Ontario, Canada. If you'd like me to go in more detail, my information is also below in the description. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and comment. It'd be much appreciated. So these are 8 common mistakes when buying a home in Ontario, Canada. Number 1. This is one I see pretty often, but people looking at homes before they get pre-approved. Now, at the end of the day, it is very nice to look at homes, but if you want the best service from a realtor like myself, we need to hear from your mortgage person, or even if you give us permission for them to send over your financial approval, we can help you further. Not only that, but people who put in offers without talking to someone first, not only does it risk you getting sued and waste everyone's time, but also you could have had a shot at an approval or a good approval. But now, if this is a lawsuit that costs money, and it can put down the chances of you buying the home you like. Number 2, researching the neighborhood. So before taking a look at a home, you want to see if it is near any apartments. Is it on a busy road? Is it near a dump or a cemetery? Now, just by looking at Google Maps, you can get a really strong idea. However, if you're looking at night time, it may block out those apartments and there may be less cars on the road. It may black out the cemetery or if there's a dump in the backyard. So when there's light, it is strongly recommended, and bringing a flashlight that you can see in the dark, like if you're looking in the garage, for example, and the light switch, for example, does not work, you can essentially use a light and just look, around the garage, right, of the inside of the garage. Now, I don't recommend actually like going inside a garage that's dark, so that's why having a flashlight is also good, just to be able to see everything as well, and not purchase a home like before seeing like the garage or something like that. But also looking at the Weather Network app as well, it gives you a strong idea of when the sunset will go down. Now, if you do look in the dark, not only use a flashlight, but also come back in the morning with your realtor. Also take a look at the outside of the home first before taking a look at the inside. This can also be good if the seller is still in the home and is getting ready to leave, and you get to see the house before it gets dark. Number 3, overpaying for a home. Now, an experienced realtor, especially one who lives in the area or one that does good research or one that knows many areas. For example, a home could go for less if it is the same home on the same amount of land with similar renovations from another home 500 meters away, because it is on a busy street or it is near an area that has been abandoned. To go into more detail, in the city of Hamilton, near the industrial areas, there are abandoned stores and it is near industrial areas, which can cause pollution. However, just a few kilometers away, a home may go for $50,000 plus more because it is in a much nicer area. Something interesting I actually saw online is in Detroit, where there are a bunch of abandoned homes that started to be taken down around people who were actually living in those areas, and it seemed to bring up the value of the homes. So something someone could try is buying one of those homes and then going to a city council meeting and suggesting that they do this, and maybe the value of your home would go up, especially since these homes were also closer to Lake Ontario, like the homes I'm talking about in Hamilton. Now, I am guessing based off of reference. It is a lot of work getting the city to do things. So just something interesting I thought I'd mention and not like a suggestion. Number 4, buying a home and moving. So the problem with buying a home and moving is that you will be paying more than someone who bought a home and thought of their future plans and stayed in that same home for a much longer period of time. If you are not looking to stay in your home for more than 10 years, maybe consider other options, as having a realtor list your home again in 2 years, for example. Sometimes commission can cost 3% for the listing and 2% for the buying agent. And if your home is $1 million, that is $50,000 you would have to pay for living somewhere for 2 years, plus other additional fees like a lawyer and and all these other things, which in many cases can be more expensive than someone paying rent. So renting for a few years before making this move can be a much better option. Number 5, waiving conditions without considering the risks. So usually you'll see your conditions in Schedule A, which would be put in there. And then if they're usually waived, what your realtor does is they get you to sign a 127, and they may also scribble out the condition to show that you're not putting that condition in your offer. So it is very clear. So if you really have a good agent like myself, they will go over the risks. They will go over why people waive conditions if you do end up waiving conditions. But just remember, you have the right to have a home inspection, the right to have your financing in check, and many other conditions you have the right to. So really consider it. Number 6, taking on new debt before closing. Now this is kind of in our culture where if you like something, you take on debt to have it, but consider if it is needed. For example, if you can buy a brand new car for $30,000 instead of leasing a brand new car, like a Mercedes, for example, maybe you buy like a Honda or something like that. Consider buying the car for $30,000, and that way you have less debt and also more cash flow. Because some cars, for example, may require more higher maintenance, premium gas and premium parts. Maybe they have parts that aren't needed, but just are kind of like a luxury. So consider if you are taking on debt, for example, try to avoid it. And also if you have to take on debt that is needed and is a necessity. Number 7, not educating yourself before buying a home. So the one thing I wanted to do when making this YouTube channel is to educate buyers out there for them to feel much more confident when buying a home, but also to educate them on the importance of having a realtor, because there is this motion of not wanting to use one to save commission. But just remember, if the seller is selling their home for $500,000 and it's worth $480,000, but you offer $500,000 and they get to save on commission, not only did they make about an extra $20,000 off of you, but they saved $10,000, with many buyer realtor commissions being 2%. So some buyers are not aware that the seller was already willing to pay for the buyer's realtor's commission, and you save the seller money and not yourself. Not only that, but to put in the offer, you still need a lawyer, and the listing realtor could be best friends or family members of that seller. And it is like going to court, for example, right? For a criminal case, if you were framed, would you want the person saying you're guilty, would you want them to be your lawyer to represent you? Or would you want your own lawyer, right? Lastly, number 8, buying a home that they can afford but uses up a lot of their loan amount. So let's say you can afford approximately $1 million for a loan. And if you buy a house for $600 to $750 instead of $800 to $1 million, you're giving yourself extra money to invest or use for day-to-day things you may need, like fixing your car, food, etc. Also, if the home you buy is the home you plan on living in forever, you could also save yourself down the road time and money and another realtor's commission by having to sell that home that was originally listed at $800 to $1 million to downgrade to a smaller home that you would have spent $600 to $750, but now you're spending more money because you got to pay for commission, you got to pay for a lawyer, you got to pay for all these other things, moving costs. So hi again, my name is Liam Hicks, a realtor at RE/MAX. I also work in the GTA and surrounding areas in Southern Ontario, Canada. If you'd like me to go in more detail, my information is also below in the description. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and comment, it'd be much appreciated. Take care.